welcome. It's your first time being an adult, isn't it? To be honest, it's mine too. No matter how many years we stack behind us, or how many labels like parent, manager, or senior. Next. Yeah, we are beginners in every single moment. We are novices at turning 40, amateurs at looking into our child's eyes, and feeling the weight of a legacy, and first-timers at facing the hollow ache of emotional isolation. Yet, the world rarely grants us the beginner's pass. It demands that we be experts, that we tuck away our feelings and sprint forward without looking back. As we are pushed along, we eventually wake up to a cold reality. We are surrounded by people, but there isn't a single soul who truly knows the rhythm of our internal silence. This is where the walls of emotional isolation begin to rise. It isn't about being physically alone. It's about the devastating realization that while you are laughing and talking in a crowded room, your deepest needs and sorrows remain untouched by anyone else. You've likely felt this, the unnameable void on the drive home after a social gathering. The certainty that even if you bared your soul, no one would truly understand, and the eventual decision to lock the doors of your heart because it's easier that way. This isolation acts like a transparent fortress. You can see the world outside, but no one can reach you. And you feel as though you can't get out, stay here too long, and you fall into a state of learned helplessness, where the silence feels like the only language you have left. Why did we choose such a rigid cage? Perhaps it was a survival mechanism, a desperate shield to protect ourselves. In a world that feels increasingly harsh, we spent so much energy acting the part of the perfect adult. We wore masks of competence to avoid being seen as a failures or unreliable, especially as parents. Society tells us that being a parent means being an unbreakable pillar. But how can you be a pillar when it's your first time building the foundation? The guilt you feel after losing your temper with your child, the nagging doubt of, oh, am I doing this? Right? You didn't want anyone to see that raw, clumsy side of you, so you hid it. And the more you pretended to be okay, the deeper your true self retreated into a dark, quiet room. This isolation is a signal of your soul being worn down. It's the source of the unexplained anxiety at midnight and the hollow feeling in your chest. It's your inner self screaming to be seen, to be told that it's okay, to be tired and lonely, but we ignore that voice to put on the mask for another day, burdened by heavy expectation. The day will be just as exhausting as yesterday. But listen to me, you are not the only one. Every expressionless face you pass on the street is likely hiding an adult beginner just as terrified as you are. We are all living in our own fortresses, and yearning for connection while simultaneously pushing it away. Instantly. To break these walls, we have to change how we see yesterday. You might see your past mistakes, your loneliness, and your helplessness as things to be erased, but look at it differently. A great forest grows only because of the leaves, and life that decayed over thousands of years to create rich, dark soil. Your yesterday is exactly that. Every sting of isolation, every failure as a parent, every moment you felt lost, these are not trash, but they are the most potent emotional nutrients you have. Because you have known pain, you have the eyes to see it in others. Because you have known isolation, you understand the value of a true bridge. Do not hate your yesterday. Pack it down firmly beneath your feet. It is the only soil from which your today can grow. We often say we are living the same day, over and over, but that is a grand illusion, an arrogance of the mind trying to simplify a complex universe. Look closer, the stone, the morning sunlight hitting your desk today has never existed at this exact angle in the history of the human race. The child you are looking at today is not the same child from yesterday. They grew a fraction of an inch while they slept, and their brain rewired itself with new dreams. And you are not the same you either. You are a version of yourself that has survived one more day of history, seasoned by one more night of reflection. Today is the first time I have ever lived this day. Say that out loud. Let it sit on your tongue. You are 40 or 50 or 30 for the first time today. You are being a parent to a 10-year-old for the first time today, because yesterday your child was 9 years and 364 days old. when we realize everything is a first, the crushing weight of perfectionism begins to crumble. How can you be perfect at something you've never done before? Why do we hold ourselves to the standard of a master when we are all, in truth, perpetual apprentices of time? When you get lost on a new road, don't call yourself a failure. You look at the map and marvel at the scenery. Life deserves that same grace. Emotional isolation thrives in the dark, stagnant waters of yesterday. It grows when we let the shadows of past regrets block the light of the present. But remember, what we talked about yesterday is your nutrient. Think of the most painful moments of your isolation. Nights you felt invisible. The days you felt like a fraud. In those moments, you weren't failing, you were accumulating the raw material of empathy. You were learning the geography of the human soul. Now, take those heavy, dark memories and bury them deep beneath your feet. Don't carry them on your back like a cross, tread on them like a path. Let them be the rich, black soil that gives you the strength to stand tall today. Without that darkness, your light today wouldn't have any depths. Stepping out of isolation doesn't require a grand parade. It starts with the smallest, most honest first actions. It's saying to your partner, I'm a bit scared today. And since it's my first time leaving this Tuesday, I'm not quite sure how to handle it. It's looking at your child and admitting I've never been the father of a teenager before. So bear with me while I learn. These are the cracks in the fortress. These honest admissions of first-timeness are the bridges that allow others to finally reach you. When you stop pretending to be a finished monument and start being a living, breathing, learning human being, the isolation begins to dissolve. Equation isn't built on being strong, it's built on being seen. You have been so incredibly harsh on yourself. You've treated yourself like a broken machine that needs fixing, rather than a guest who needs welcoming. Treat yourself today like a prestigious visitor who has just arrived from a long, exhausting journey. Offer yourself a warm cup of tea. Sit in the quiet and say to yourself, you did a remarkable job surviving a yesterday you'd never seen before. Now, let's see what this brand new today has to offer. When you begin to welcome yourself, you create the internal space necessary to welcome others. The wound of isolation is not a scar of shame. It is a mark of survival. It is proof that you have endured the desert and are now ready for the spring. Don't let yesterday swallow your today. Yesterday has no authority here. It is merely a ghost, a memory of a lesson learned. These days where the power is. Every deep breath you take is a first. Every person you smile at is a first-time encounter. In this specific moment of time, you are still clumsy, still uncertain, and still a bit afraid, and that is exactly as it should be. We are all walking each other home through a landscape we've never seen before. You are not alone in your first-time struggle. You are part of a massive, beautiful, stumbling choir of humanity, all singing the same song of discovery. So, welcome. Welcome to this Tuesday, or this Friday, or this Sunday. It is a gift that has never been unwrapped until this very second. Walk out of your fortress. Feel the wind, it's a different wind than yesterday's. Look at the sky, it's a brand new canvas. You've done the hard work of surviving the dark. Now give yourself the permission to enjoy the dawn. You are an adult for the first time. The survivor via an oars. And that is more than enough. Let's start this journey together for the very first time.